How are we doing, guys? All used to be Leeds 0, Hull 2, and it's a disappointing one today, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's a disappointing one at the end of the day. We could have done without it. We've got a big game at Forest coming up. Well, you know, is it a positive, is it a negative? It's not a great result at the end of the day, but results have gone our way. You know, Norwich got beat, West Brom drawn to Sheffield Wednesday. We're still five points clear of third, so the positives are there. You know, even though we got beat, the positives are still there for all to see. So, yeah, let's get on with it. So, the team we went with today, 4-1-4-1 as usual. It's the same as what started Blackburn, what started Villa. Baby got Farrell, Luke Ayling, Pontus Jansson, Calvin Phillips, Barry Douglas. It was the back four. Adam Forshaw in the holding role. Alioski, Click, Hernandez, and Jack Harrison on the left-hand side with Kemal Roof through the middle. And to be honest with you, we didn't start the game too badly. You know, I don't think it was a bad start at all. There's a couple of half chances. Jack Harrison's picked up Pablo Hernandez. Somehow it's not gone in. It's cannoned back and forth, hasn't quite gone in. Had a couple of other half chances, but don't get me wrong, Hull, in the first 10 minutes of showing no attacking intent. First time Jared Bowen gets the ball, what really impressed me was he didn't look to shield the ball, he didn't look to protect the ball, he didn't look to just pass the ball off and keep possession. His first thought was, on the half turn, get past Barry Douglas, which he did, drive towards our back four, get past Pontus Jansson, get past Adam Forshaw and get a shot off, which I think was blocked by Luke Ayling, and it goes out for a corner. That was really impressive, and actually showed their attacking intent from the first sort of 10 minutes. And constantly on the counter-attack, him and Kamil Grzycki and Evandro all picked up really good counter-attacking positions. You know, they left it to these screening two midfielders to press, and it just worked really well. You know, the shape without the ball, you know, they left sort of the space between the holding midfielders and attacking midfielders, which is where we kept going. But the problem was, that's where Hull wanted us to keep going. It was really intelligent off Nigel Adkins. He kept massive spaces between the holding midfielders and the three attackers in a 4-2-3-1. And we fell into the trap. We kept taking the ball in those areas, and that's exactly what Hull wanted. They left that space for us to do exactly that, and I felt we sort of fell for that a little bit at times. You know, we thought in the last half an hour we sort of sussed that out and started to really get into positions to hurt them. But other than that, you know, we sort of fell for that trap. And don't get me wrong, Hull were absolutely superb with how they set up. Nigel Adkins, I have to say, got it absolutely spot on with how he set up tactically. You know, in terms of pressing, in terms of seam selection, in terms of just everything, I felt they got right today. I thought it was the best team that's come to Elland Road so far this season. Probably the best team I think we've faced this season so far. So, you know, that sort of chance happens. We have a couple of half chances. It's sort of a back and forth tennis kind of game. You know, no real sort of momentum to it either way. You know, no team sort of built any momentum. It's just sort of attacking moves either way. But then they get the goal. You know, the first goal is a disappointing one. You know, the ball goes over to the left-hand side. Kamil Grzycki is able to cut in far too easily onto that right foot, get into a really good crossing angle. You know, I don't really know where Luke Ayling was, to be honest with you. I've got to be honest, I was disappointed with Luke Ayling on that goal. You know, the ball's come into the box too easily. And then Calvin Phillips tries to play it a bit too complicated. He should just be putting his foot through the ball. But at the end of the day, that's how he's told to play. You know, if goals like that are going to happen with the style of play we play, and the benefit far outweighs the negative. So it's one of those things, that first goal. It's disappointing, but it's what we try and do. You know, it's what we do, and it's what's got us to the top of the table. So I'm not going to criticise that at all. You know, it's the style of play we play. If it happens again, it happens another 2 or 3 times, we have to review it. But I'm not going to start slagging off Calvin Phillips because of that goal. You know, it's happened. It's a slight mistake of Calvin Phillips. He knows he's made the mistake. He knows straight away as soon as the goal's happened. And to be fair, Calvin Phillips was fine after that. It happens. Mistakes happen. He was trying to do the right thing. He was trying to do what he was told. The system, and that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes maybe it is trying to be a little bit too clever. But I saw in a comment, you know, about, you know, this being too clever, etc., etc. But the benefits far outweigh the negative. You know, I can't quite remember who commented that on my last video, and I apologise straight away for not remembering that. But I picked that comment just sort of. I picked out straight away. You know, I saw that comment and I thought, yeah, he's pretty much spot on there with his assessments and that lot. But yeah, they get that goal, and then we finish the first half much better. You know, it's we do finish the first half better. You know, Mattis Click starts to find his range of passing. You know, plays a lovely one into Pablo Hernandez, which just goes over the bar. And we just get those half chances throughout the game. You know, I think Hull, we never really got into positions to really damage Hull in those sort of first 60 minutes, certainly in the first half. But yeah, it's disappointing what happens there, you know, and you know, as a home team, we probably should do a little bit better. But half time comes, Jack Clark comes on for Jack Harrison, and to be fair, I think the way we start the second half is what causes our downfall. Really, it was always going to be important who got the second goal. You know, I don't think Hull Rovers is going to gift us 2 goals if they got that second goal. And as soon as they get that second goal, you know it's game over, to be honest. I know with the spirit we've shown in the last couple of weeks, it could still make a game of it, but the game was gone after that for me, especially if they made it 2-0. The way they were pressing, the way they were managing the game, we couldn't really afford to concede that second goal, and we did. And the second goal is really, really disappointing. You know, how it happens, you know, Barry Douglas, I can't understand what Barry Douglas is trying to do on that second goal. You know, I think he needs to be more aggressive. I think he needs to be just a bit more proactive in that situation. You know, the danger happens so far away from our goal, it's untrue. You know, from that first missed tackle, as soon as he misses that and doesn't recover, you know we're in trouble on that side of the pitch. Ball comes into the box a bit too easily. They get the first knock on, they get the second one, and it goes in. You know, we didn't react at all well. You know, I think collectively we didn't defend that goal well, but I have to question Barry Douglas on that left hand side. As the best left back in the league, I think he should be doing better there. I think you do expect better from Barry Douglas there, but let's be honest, it's the first time Barry Douglas has probably cost us a goal all season from memory. You know, he's been absolutely superb for us. So, you know, that's the key thing. You know, I'm not going to turn on any player today. You know, the players you don't expect to make mistakes. I've made mistakes today, and it's just an off day. You know, that's the way I feel about it. I feel it was just an off day, especially the way we finished the game. You know, Tyler Roberts comes on, we change 4-3-3, and we start to break them down a little bit. You know, we start to sort of force Hull back. As soon as we change into the 4-3-3, you know, everything seems a little bit more fluid. You know, we've got a fluid front three, which is going to occupy that back four. We've got Matis, Click, Pablo Hernandez occupying those spaces in front of them, and they've worked it out. They've worked out what Hull were doing. You know, they were keeping those 2 screening midfielders, if you like, tight to the back four, and the rest of the team. It was sort of like a 4 and a 6. A 6 and a 4 to an extent. The way Hull set up 1-4-2-3-1. We kept going into that sort of middle space, but second half, last 60 minutes, we started to really break it down. Somehow we don't score. You know, we've had 2 cleared off the line. David Marshall's picked off some absolutely superb saves. He made one in the first half as well. We just can't quite break him down. It's disappointing, obviously, that we didn't break him down. I think maybe we could do better, but we will play worse than that this season and win games. Simple as that. We will play worse than that and win games. You know, I think we're worse against Bolton, Bristol City, Reading. I'm not making it a competition, but I'm just making the point that the Championship's a crazy league. You know, it's as much about what the other team does as what we do. Sometimes we'll get games like that where we win by default. Other games we'll get where we've played well and the other team's just been better than us on the day. It's one of those things. You know, I'm not going to freak out about it. At the end of the day, this team's done us proud. You know, top of the table, 3 points clear of Norwich, 5 points clear of West Brom. You have to be proud of what this team's done. And at the end of the day, I don't want us to start ripping up what we've done and starting again. I certainly don't think it needs that. Just think it needs a couple of signings in January. And I think maybe the other thing is when players come back into the team. You know, I can't wait for Berra or Coops to come back into the team to allow Callum Phillips playing in a stronger position. You know, I think Alan Forshaw's done a great job in that position, but I thought he was poor today. Poor against Villa. I just think sometimes with Alan Forshaw, you know, the reason I don't think he's an out-and-out starter is because sometimes he takes 3 or 4 touches. I think Callum Phillips is just that 1-2 touch. You know, when you get Berardi in the centre-back role as well, he's more 1-touch, 2-touch, and that's what you need to play Bielsa's system. You need 1-touch, 2-touch, pace. You know, certainly from the start of the game, I think you need that. You know, the 1-touch, 2-touch, feeding Matis Click and Pablo Hernandez into positions where they can hurt the opposition. You know, I think too often in the last few games, even when we've been winning, I have to point out, I think they've been having to drop that back a bit deeper than they want to. But look, it's all small details at the end of the day. We get players back into the team, we make a few signings, I think we're absolutely fine. You know, I still feel we need that ball-playing goalkeeper as well to break the press a bit more often, take on those risky passes and just a little bit more speed and precision to what we try and do out the back. That's the only thing I think we really need. You know, I still think going forward, we're creating chances even when we lose games. You've got to stay positive for me, and it's a big opportunity against Forest. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, it's coming up so soon. But I think it's just a wake-up call, you know, at the end of the day. I think we've responded well whenever we've lost games. You know, we went on that 7-game winning run after losing to West Brom. That Birmingham defeat, we went on a good run after that. It's the Blackburn defeat as well. We respond well to defeats. You know, that's something that's impressed me. We just got to work now. We just got to work and just tinker. You know, not massive wholesale changes. There's no need for that. You know, it's disrespectful to what we've achieved as a team. Just small changes for me. I'm sure that's what Marcel Bielsa will do. He's seen it all before. He's not going to make big dramatic changes now. That team's got us to the top of the table. It's got us to the top of the table for a reason. And that's my feelings on it anyway. And since the man of the match today, I'm going to have to go for Pablo Hernandez. He wasn't at his absolute best, but at the end of the day, all our main moves came from Pablo Hernandez. He was lucky not to score. He started to dictate things in that sort of last half an hour when we had control of the game, I felt. or start to get control of the game. And all our best moves, he was the architect of for me. He was our best player today. He wasn't at his absolute best, but he still stood out, for us. I certainly think Jared Bowen was absolutely superb for Hull. He was probably the star of the whole show, as was Bandro, as was probably the entire Hull back four, and David Marshall. But, it's one of those, at the end of the day, simply the individuals on the day played better than us from Hull. I don't think there was anything tactically drastically wrong from our end. It just happens sometimes, and that's my way of looking at it. I'm not going to freak out. It's a championship. You're going to lose football matches at the end of the day. I've been Oscar Marriott. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've just hit the 4K today. We're absolutely made up about that as well. Make sure you check out our 5K giveaway video. Plenty of prizes. In fact, I can't really remember all the prizes, but there's at least 9 or 10 prizes. Make sure you check out that video of Joe's about the 5K giveaway. I've been Oscar Marriott. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you later.